Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. I'm super excited today. I got a couple of orders of bare root plants, and these boxes are both full of hostas, a large variety of hostas. This one here actually came a couple of days ago, and the other one just arrived today. So I'm excited to have a look at them and figure out where I'm going to put them all. I think it's something like 30 hostas that I have here all together. I wanted a few for under the edge of my my deck and around by my little shade garden. I have a few shady spaces off to the end of my patio. There's a few different spots in the yard where I thought some different hostas would be good. I'm hoping to have some really nice big ones in here, which I do. And then I have some really small little hostas as well. So a really fun selection. A few of them will probably go to a friend's house, but I'm excited to get these in the ground. And now is a great time. You don't have to wait for your average last frost date. When you're getting bare root plants, the best time to plant them is when you get them, as long as they can, as long as you can dig into the ground. So I'm gonna go through these, decide where they're all gonna go, and get them planted up today. It's a beautiful day today. You know, we go from bundling up to shorts and a t-shirt in days here. So I'll go through real quick and just tell you the varieties that I have here, and then I'm gonna try and get them planted, and I'll show you some of them getting planted, but I'm not going to show you all. That's a lot of bare roots going in the ground. It's not that exciting. I'll show you when they come up. I think I'll put they have a really good graphic on here with a picture of the varieties, and they're labeled. So I'll put a screenshot of this up for you so you can see what they look like. So the first one is A, and it's Francis Williams, and I have two of these. So these are really nice, and they're going to be a good size hosta, 70 centimeters by 160 centimeters. And then I have Francie. It's a white and green hosta, and it's 55 centimeters by 125 centimeters. And I have two of those. And then I have C, Bressingham Blue. It's blue, I believe, with a little bit of the kind of quilting on the leaves there. It's going to be just gorgeous. I think I have some of these or something similar in my yard already. And this is 60 centimeters by 120 centimeters. So that's bigger, I think, than anything I have. So maybe mine is just a similar thing. There was two of those, I believe. And then I have D. It's Elbow Marginata. It's 45 centimeters by 60 centimeters. And I have two of those. And then E is wide brim, so this one's a shorter but wider one. And it's kind of a green leaf with yellow margins, wide yellow margins. It's 45 centimeters by 115 centimeters. F is Elegans, and it's similar to the Bressingham Blue. It's 70 centimeters by 155 centimeters. I think this one is just a little bit more on the lighter side of the color of the leaf. And then G is Christmas Tree, and I have three of these, and it's 60 centimeters by 140 centimeters. So another nice big sized one there. So, and G it's a green leaf. It has a bit more of that kind of quilted look to it with a thinner yellow margin. So those will be fun to get in the ground. And then this box, I haven't even opened this box. I opened the flaps obviously, but I haven't looked inside yet. So hopefully the other ones came in really good condition. A couple are starting to sprout, but most of them are still very dormant. So I ordered these through Costco. I know here the Emerald Isle isn't available anymore. I'm not sure about in your area, obviously, but so again, it came with this really great diagram with the plants labeled. So I'll put that up on the screen so you can look along with me here. These are looking in pretty good shape too. So these are really fun, different sizes, I believe. This one, the first one, A, is blue mouse ears, which I have a mouse ears. And I believe it's the blue mouse ears, but I've had it for years. I always call it mouse ears. And it's 15 centimeters by 30 centimeters, and it's just a really small, dainty little hosta. I really like it. And there's 2 in here. Looks like I have one starting to, they're both starting to sprout a little bit. And then B is avocado, and it's 60 centimeters by 90 centimeters, so a decent size, you know, kind of average size hosta there. And this one is kind of a bright yellow, almost neon green looking leaf with a darker green around the margins, a nice wide band around the margins. Then I have Yellow River, which is C, and it's just kind of what I would call your basic hosta green leaf with a very thin band of yellow. It's 60 centimeters by 120 centimeters. There's 2 of those. D is a Bequad drinking gourd, and that's a fun one because the outer parts of the leaves actually curl up so it looks like it will hold water, kind of like a cup-shaped leaf, and it's 60 centimeters by 115 centimeters. There's 2 of those, and I think that'll be a really fun one to add in and just add some interest. And then I have 1 of E, which is stained glass, and it's a really vibrant yellow with just a very thin fine green margin around the sides, and it is 40 centimeters by 90 centimeters. So that's a nice size. I might use one. I'd like a few bigger ones for under the edge of my deck, something that I can put there that comes up in the summer and hides some of the mess under there, but will die back in the winter, so I can get things in and out under there. And then F is Thunderbolt, and it's just a really fine kind of yellow pale green inner part to the petal or leaf, and then a really kind of bluey gray-green outer band that takes up most of the leaf. And this one is 50 centimeters by 90 centimeters, and I have 1 of those, so I think that's going to be really fun. So that's 25 altogether, so that's a pretty good guess. I couldn't quite remember what I had here. They're looking really good. So I'm going to go around and kind of pick some of the bigger ones that have some contrast in leaves to go around the edges under my deck and pop them in a few other places in my yard, and I'll share that with you when I get it figured out. Okay, so I'm over here at the edge of my deck here, and this is one of the main reasons that I wanted to get some of these hostas. As you can see, we store things under here, which I don't think is unusual. I think a lot of people do. Some of this will move out as we get into summer, and some of it needs to just be sold and gotten rid of. But I also have, I don't know if you can see them behind me here, I have a couple of propane tanks because I have a propane fueled fire pit. So they sit back here, and then the line goes over to the fire pit, just kind of beside you actually. And I just wanted something that would grow up here and kind of fill in the space and hide the tanks a little bit, but still I can get to them, and just kind of brighten up this dingy look here. So I've picked a couple of packages that I think will work well for this. I do have a couple of smaller hostas. There's one here, and there's one kind of over equally spaced under the decking on the other side. And then I have a few down the side there by the rocks on the other side of the rocks there. But they're all shorter hostas with a light green leaf. So I think these will be nice to put in behind and just give more height and fill out a little bit. Kind of pull it all together, because right now they're just kind of plunked here. The first one that I have here is the Elgins, and so that was this kind of
it has kind of a grayish blue leaf on top with a green underside, and it kind of curls up a little bit, but not like the drinking gourd. And this one gets quite fairly tall. It's 70 centimeters tall, and it gets 155 centimeters wide. So I think if I put it just kind of right behind me where this tank is, and this tank can move over, it'll come up and fill in this area here behind me, and then this little hosta will be sticking out in front. And then I'll put another one over kind of just on the other side of the post there, back in here. Another one there, so they can kind of grow together a little bit. And then I have the Yellow River, which was the one with the darker green leaf with the thin yellow margin, and they're a longer leaf, so it's a different leaf shape and a different color. And I'll put that in there, and it's just a little bit shorter and narrower, but it should fill in that corner there a little bit between the two of them. And then I have the Francis Williams, which is it's very similar looking to the Yellow River, but it has a bit more rounded leaf and a little bit more yellow on the leaf, and it's a bit larger. So I'll put one of those back there, and I'm going to put one over on the other side of my stairs, and I'll have one more of these to put over there as well. So I think with those bright yellow edges on the leaves, those will bring a little bit of brightness in here too, that the Elgins doesn't bring. So I'm going to get these planted. I'm just going to be scraping the rock back, digging down into the soil. I'll add a little bit of bone meal to the hole, and they just go down like about 2.5 centimeters down, kind of so that the roots are down under the ground. So there's nothing really too special to planting the hostas. I'll bring you in so you can see one, but I don't find hostas very demanding plants, so I won't be adding too much. I'll just give them a little bit of bone meal just to get them off well, and then of course once I get them planted, I'll water them in well. So I'm gonna get that started. So you can maybe see better the space where those the tanks are there. So I think if I put one right about where the tank on the left is, one of the bigger hostas right there, I'll move that tank in behind the other one, and the hosta should grow up and around that post a little bit, and fill in that space and just cover up those tanks just a little bit as it grows. So I think that'll work really well to kind of disguise that space a little bit. I've looked at different things to maybe build lattice or things that a lot of people typically use, but we do have a window over there, and we do want a little bit of light still filtering through under here and getting into that room. So there's a little bit of a concrete footing around here, so I need to make sure I'm past that. I think we'll go right about here. So I came across this little bit of landscape fabric here. So I'm just gonna cut an X and pull it back. Now I want this to be able to spread to its potential, so I get a pretty good space going here. Tuck that in. So hostas aren't that demanding, but since it's such a heavy clay there, I'm just gonna put in just a little bit more of this peat-based mix here, just to kind of help break up the clay a little bit in that area. Then I'm gonna sprinkle some bone meal in there. Okay, so let's have a look at these. So lots of times when you get to your plant's bare root, they'll come wrapped like this. Some people recommend soaking them in water for 4 to 6 hours before you plant them, and with some things I would, but with hostas, they're pretty easygoing plants. I'm not too worried. So make sure, check for an elastic, always make sure you take that off. And that's what they should look like. Nice healthy roots. They're not soft or rotten, they're not hard and dried out. It's okay to have a little bit of sprouting. We'll go spread a little bit, but that's all right. So I'm gonna plant them just to about here, because they want to be about 2.5 centimeters deep. So it will be really just, the tip will just be barely pointing out there when I'm done. So put one to the side. I'm going to try and spread these roots out as much as possible in this hole here, so they can go and spread under the landscape fabric. So I'm just going to try and gently tease them out so they can spread down about that deep. And I'm going to actually just lift the landscape fabric and let them go along there, because there's that layer of rocks there anyway, so they're going to be quite deep under it. Just tuck that in. I'm going to make sure I get some soil under here so it's not sitting on an air pocket. So like I said, I tried to make sure the roots were heading underneath the landscape fabric. I forgot that landscape fabric was under there. And I'm just going to give it a little bit more of this soil on top here. And then I'm going to let the rocks come back down. These rocks back down, and it'll grow up through the rocks. I didn't bring all the rocks over it, but enough to kind of keep it looking somewhat symmetrical through the whole area here. So that's one in, so I need to do a few more. That's what I'm going to be doing with these. Okay, so it doesn't really look any different right now because, like I said, they're bare root. You saw them. But I just put 4 in here. There's one about there. That was the wide with the gray, kind of green leaves. And then the one that matches it is just about there. And then I have the smaller one with the green with the yellow margin leaves there. So it should come out, cover up over the sidewalks here a little bit, go around and just kind of eventually hit the edge of the doghouse and cover those tanks up. And then there's one more larger, the green with the yellow margin leaves at the back there, Francie Williams, I believe. It's planted about there, so it should go all the way over to the house, just spill to the edge of the rocks there around and meet up with the other one. And then, like I said, right in front of the rocks there is an assortment. I don't remember the variety, but of some hostas along there that are just smaller, like I think they're about a 30 centimeter height, so it should be a nice step up to the next ones there, and they're different colored leaves a little bit, I think. So that should look nice once they get going. Hostas are slow to get going in the spring, so it always takes a while. You have to be patient with them. So yeah, I have a Yellow River and a Francis Williams left here, so I'm gonna plant them in here behind me. I have a rhododendron right there, and then I have, that's my access box for my sprinkler lines. And so I kind of thought if I put the Emerald River right back in there, just kind of under this step a little bit from our view, but just to fill in that space, and should just kind of spill over top of that access box, but I come in usually this way to get to it, so I could still do that. And then I'll put the Francis Williams. I have some bins and things that I need to pull out of there real quick, but then I'll put it over here, and that's my tap and my jar vent. It's usually kind of a mess there, so I thought that might kind of distract from the messy things and draw your eye. Something a little nicer there, so again, lots of digging and gravel, and who knows what I'll find under it, but get that done. You can see those tubes there. Those are the tubes running for when I get my drip lines all hooked up to my pots on the deck. So that'll all get cleaned up and looking better once the taps are hooked up and they can be lifted up into position again. And the same with that cord, was just there to heat the bird bath and the dog's water bowl through the winter. So I'm gonna pull that down and get it out of the way, and be looking a lot better over there. Okay, so that's 2 more planted in there. I think I might see if I have a small one to go in here, and a matching one to go down over there. And then around the corner is the other flower bed that I'm looking to put a few in. I do have a few in here already. Right here is the Alchemilla mollis that I planted last year, those 3, and they're coming back really nicely. See a few little tulips coming, some weeds I need to get rid of. I put some trolleus in here last year, and I have a Lonicera vine going up this trellis here, clematis down there, some obedient plant. So you can just kind of see, I think, the debris from, there's a hosta there, there's one down there, and there's one here, and one right about there, and I think there's another one over there. So I don't know if I'll be able to fit any more in here or not. I'll have to have a look around, but I think this is where I'm going to leave you though for this. You don't need to see me digging around planting a lot of what kind of looks like invisible plants right now. So I'm just going to carry on finding spots to plant these, and as they grow up over the summer, I'll give you a look at what I have. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.